Lord Cut-Glass, in his kitchen full of time, squats down alone to a dog dish marked Fido of peppery fish scraps and listens to the voices of his 66 clocks, one for each year of his loony age, and watches with love their black and white, moony, loud-lipped faces talking the earth away. Slow clocks, quick clocks, pendulumed heart knocks, china, alarm, grandfather, cuckoo, clocks shaped like Noah's whirring ark, clocks that bicker in marble ships, clocks in the wombs of glass women, hourglass chambers, to-wit-to-woo clocks, clocks that pluck tunes, Vesuvius clocks, all black bells and lava, Niagara clocks that cataract their ticks, old time-weeping clocks with ebony beards, clocks with no hands forever drumming out time without ever knowing what time it is. His 66 singers are all set at different hours. Lord Cut-Glass lives in a house and a life at siege. Any minute or dark day now, the unknown enemy will loot and savage downhill. But they will not catch him napping. 66 different times in his fish-slimy kitchen, ping, strike, tick, chime, and talk. The lust and lilt and lather and emerald breeze and crackle of the bird praise and body of spring, with its breasts full of rivering May milk, means to that lordly fish-head nibbler nothing but another nearness to the tribes and navies of the last black day, who'll sear and pillage down Armageddon Hill to his double-locked, rusty-shuttered, tick-tock, dust-scrabbled shack at the bottom of the town that has fallen head over bells in love.
Again.
Pretty Polly hums and longs.
Now when farmers' boys on the first fair day come down from the hills to drink and be gay, before the sun sinks I'll lie there in their arms, for they're good bad boys from the lonely farms. But I always think, as we tumble into bed, of little Willie who is
dead. The sunny, slow, lulling afternoon yawns and moons through the dozy town. The sea lolls, laps, and idles in with fishes sleeping in its lap. The meadows still as Sunday, the shut-eyed, tasseled bulls, the goat and daisy dingles nap happy and lazy, the dumb duck ponds snooze. Clouds sag and pillow on Llaregib Hill. Pigs grunt in a wet wallow bath and smile as they snort and dream. They dream of the acorn swill of the world, the rooting for pigfoot, the bagpipe dugs of the mother sow, the squeal and snuffle of yeses of the women pigs in rut. They mud bask and snout in the pig-loving sun. Their tails curl. They rollick and slobber and snore to deep, smug, after-swill sleep. Donkeys angelically drowse on Donkey Down.
Persons with manners,
snaps Mrs. Cole Pugh,
do not nod the table.
Mr. Pugh cringes awake. He puts on a soft, soaping smile. It is sad and grey under his nicotine, egg-yellow, weeping, walrus, Victorian moustache, worn thick and long in memory of Dr. Crippen.
You should wait till you retire to your style,
says Mrs. Pugh, sweet as a razor. His fawning, measly quarter smile freezes. Sly and silent, he foxes into his chemist's den, and there, in a hiss and prussic circle of cauldrons and phials brimful with pox and the Black Death, cooks up a fricassee of deadly nightshade, nicotine, hot frog, cyanide, and bat spit for his needling, stalactite hag and bednag of a poker-backed nutcracker wife.
I beg your pardon, my dear,
he murmurs with a wheedle.
Captain Cat, at his window thrown wide to the sun, In the clippered seas he sailed long ago when his eyes were blue and bright. Slumbers and voyages, ear-ringed and rolling, I love you, Rosy Probert tattooed on his belly. He brawls with broken bottles in the fug and babel of the dark dock bars, roves with a herd of short and good time cows in every naughty port, and twines and souses with the drowned and blousy-breasted dead. He weeps as he sleeps and sails.
One voice of all he remembers most dearly as his dream buckets down. Lazy early Rosie with the flaxen thatch, whom he shared with Tom Fred the donkeyman and many another seaman, clearly and near to him, speaks from the bedroom of her dust. In that gulf and haven, fleets by the dozen have anchored for the little heaven of the night. But she speaks to Captain Napping Cat, alone. Mrs. Probert.
From Duck Lane, Jack. Quack twice and ask for Rosie.
Is the one love of his sea life that was sardined with women.
What seas did you see, Tomcat, Tomcat, in your sailoring days, long, long ago? What sea beasts were in the wavery green when you were my master?
I'll tell you the truth. Seas barking like seals, blue seas and green seas covered with eels and mermen and whales.
What seas did you sail, old whaler, when on the blubbery waves between Frisco and Wales you were my bosun?
As true as I'm here, dear you tomcat start, you landlubber Rosie, you cozy love, my easy as easy, my true sweetheart. Seas green as a bean, seas gliding with swans in the seal barking moon.
What seas were rocking, my little deckhand, my favourite husband, in your sea boots and hunger, my duck, my whaler, my honey, my daddy, my pretty sugar sailor, with my name on your belly, when you were a boy, long, long ago.
I'll tell you no lies. The only sea I saw was the seesaw sea with you riding on it. Lie down, lie easy, let me shipwreck in your thigh.
Knock twice, Jack, at the door of my grave, and ask for Rosie.
Rosy Probert.
Remember her. She is forgetting. The earth which filled her mouth is vanishing from her. Remember me. I have forgotten you. I am going into the darkness of the darkness forever. I have forgotten that I was ever born.
Look,
Says a child to her mother as they pass by the window of Schooner House.
Captain Cat is crying.
Captain Cat is crying.
Come back! Come back!
Up the silences and echoes of the passages of the eternal night,
He's crying all over his nose.
says the child. Mother and child move on down the street.
He's got a nose like strawberries.
The child says, and then she forgets him too. She sees in the still middle of the Blue Bag Bay no good boyo fishing from the Zanzibar.
No good boyo gave me 3 pennies yesterday, but I wouldn't.
The child tells her mother.
Boyo catches a whalebone corset. It's all he has caught all day.
Bloody funny fish.
Mrs. Diebread, too, gypsies up in his mind's slow eye, dressed only in a bangle.
She's wearing a nightgown. Would you like this nice wet corset, Mrs. Diebread, too?
No, I won't.
And a bite of my little apple?
He offers with no hope.
She shakes her brass nightgown, and he chases her out of his mind. And when he comes gusting back, there in the bloodshot center of his eye, a geisha girl grins and bows. in a kimono of rice paper.
I want to be good, boyo, but nobody let me.
He sighs as she writhes politely. The land fades, the sea flocks silently away, and through the warm white cloud where he lies, silky, tingling, uneasy Eastern music undoes him in a Japanese minute.
The afternoon buzzes like lazy bees round the flowers round May Rose Cottage. Nearly asleep in the field of nanny goats who hum and gently butt the sun, she blows love on a puffball.
He loves me. He loves me not. Loves me. He loves me not. He loves me, the dirty old fool.
Lazy she lies alone in clover and sweet grass. 17 and never been sweet in the grass. Oh-ho.
The Reverend Eli Jenkins, inky in his cool front parlour or poem room, tells only the truth in his life work. The population, main industry, shipping, history, topography, flora and fauna of the town he worships in. The White Book of Llaregib. Portraits of famous bards and preachers, all fur and wool from the squint to the kneecaps, hang over him heavy as sheep, next to faint lady watercolours of pale green milkwood like a lettuce salad, dying. His mother, propped against a pot in a palm with a wedding ring waist and bust like a black cloth dining table, suffers in her stays.
Oh, angels, be careful there with your knives and forks,
he prays. There is no known likeness of his father, Esau, who, undog-collared because of his little weakness, was scythed to the bone one harvest by mistake when sleeping with his weakness in the corn. He lost all ambition and died with one leg.
Poor Dad,
Grieved the Reverend Eli.
to die of drink and agriculture.
Farmer Watkins in Salt Lake Farm hates his cattle on the hill as he hoes them in to milking.
Damn you, you damn dairies!
A cow kisses him.
Bite her to death!
He shouts to his deaf dog, who smiles and licks his hands.
Gore him! Sit on him, Daisy!
He bawls to the cow, who barbed him with her tongue. And she moos gentle words as he raves and dances among his summer-breathed slaves, walking delicately to the farm. The coming of the end of the spring day is already reflected in the lakes of their great eyes. Bessie Bighead greets them by the name she gave them when they were maidens.
Meg, Buttercup, Moll, Fan from the castle, Theodosia, and Daisy.
They bow their heads.
Look up Bessie Bighead in the White Book of Llaregib, and you will find the few haggard rags and the one poor glittering thread of her history laid out in pages there with as much love and care as the lock of hair of a first lost love. Conceived in milkwood, born in a barn, wrapped in paper, left on a doorstep, big-headed and bass-voiced, she grew in the dark until long-dead Gomer Owen kissed her when she wasn't looking, because he was dead. Now in the light, she'll work, sing, milk, say the cow's sweet names, and sleep until the night sucks out her soul and spits it into the sky. In her lifelong love light, holily Bessie milks the fond lake-eyed cows as dusk showers slowly down over byre, sea, and town. Utah Watkins curses through the farmyard on a cart horse.
Shut up, you bleeding cripple!
The huge horse neighs softly, as though he had given it a lump of sugar. Now the town is dusk. Each cobble, donkey, goose, and gooseberry street is a thoroughfare of dusk. And dusk, and ceremonial dust, and night's first darkening snow, and the sleep of birds, drift under and through the live dusk of this place of love. Llaregib is the capital of dusk. Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, at the first drop of the dusk shower, seals all her sea-view doors, draws the germ-free blinds, sits erect as a dry dream on a high-backed hygienic chair, and wills herself to cold, quick, sleep. At once, at twice. Mr. Ogmore and Mr. Pritchard, who all dead day long have been gossiping like ghosts in the woodshed, planning the loveless destruction of their glass widow, reluctantly sigh and sidle into her clean house.
You first, Mr. Ogmore.
After you, Mr. Pritchard.
No, Mr. Ogmore. You widowed her first.
And in through the keyhole, with tears where their eyes once were, they ooze and grumble.
Husbands,
She says in her sleep. There is acid love in her voice for one of the two shambling phantoms. Mr. Ogmore hopes that it is not for him. So does Mr. Pritchard.
I love you both. Oh, Mrs. Ogmore.
Oh, Mrs. Pritchard.
Soon it will be time to go to bed. Tell me your tasks in order.
We must take our pajamas from the drawer marked pajamas.
And then you must take them off.
Down in the dusking town, May Rose Cottage, still lying in clover, listens to the nanny goats chew.
I'm fast. I'm a bad lot. God will strike me dead. I'm 70. I'll go to hell.
She tells the goats.
You just wait. I'll sin till I blow up.
She lies deep, waiting for the worst to happen. The goats champ and sneer.
And at the doorway of Bethesda House, the Reverend Jenkins recites to Llarigib Hill his sunset poem.
Every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer I make. Oh, please to keep thy lovely eye on all poor creatures born to die. And every evening at sundown I ask a blessing on the town. For whether we last the night or no, I'm sure it always touch and go. We are not wholly bad or good, who live our lives under milkwood. And thou, I know, wilt be the first to see our best side, not our worst. Oh, let us see another day. Bless us this night, I pray. And to the sun we all will bow and say goodbye, but just for now.
Jack Black prepares once more to meet his Satan in the wood. He grinds his night teeth, closes his eyes, climbs into his religious trousers, their flies sewn up with cobbler's thread, and pads out, torched and Bibled, grimly, joyfully, into the already sinning dusk.
Off to Gomorrah!
And Lily Smalls is up to no good boyo in the wash-house.
And Cherry Owen, sober as Sunday as he is every day of the week, goes off, happy as Saturday, to get drunk as a deacon, as he does every night.
I always say she's got two husbands.
Says Cherry Owen.
One drunk and one sober.
And Mrs. Cherry simply says,
And aren't I a lucky woman, because I love them both?
Evening, Cherry. Evening, Sinbad. What'll you have? Too much. The Sailor's Arms is always open.
Sinbad suffers to himself, heartbroken.
Oh, Gossamer, open he was.
Dusk is drowned forever, until tomorrow. It is all at once night now. The windy town is a hill of windows, and from the lapped waves the lights of the lamps in the windows call back the day and the dead that have run away to sea. All over the calling dark, babies and old men are bribed and lullabied to sleep.
Hush-a-bye, baby. The Sandman is coming.
For their daughters cover up the old unwinking men like parrots, and in their little dark, in the lit and bustling young kitchen corners, all night long they watch, beady-eyed, the long night through, in case death catches them asleep.
Unmarried girls alone in their privately bridal bedrooms powder and curl for the dance of the world. They make in front of their looking-glasses haughty or come-hithering faces for the young men in the street outside, at the lamplit leaning corners, who wait in the all-at-once wind to wolve and whistle. The drinkers in the Sailor's Arms drink to the failure of the dance.
Down with the waltzing and skipping.
Dancing is natural.
Righteously says Cherry Owen, who has just downed 17 pints of flat, warm, thin Welsh bitter beer.
A farmer's lantern glimmers, a spark on Llaregib hillside.
Llaregib Hill, writes the Reverend Jenkins in his poem room.
Llaregib Hill, that mystic tumulus, the memorial of peoples that dwelt in the region of Llaregib before the Celts left the land of summer, and where the old wizards made themselves a wife out of flowers.
Blind Captain Cat climbs into his bunk. Like a cat, he sees in the dark. Through the voyages of his tears, he sails to see the dead.
Dancing William,
Still dancing.
Jonah Jarvis,
Still Curly Bevan Skull.
Rosie with God. She has forgotten dying.
The dead come out in their Sunday best.
Listen to the night breaking.
Organ Morgan goes to chapel to play the organ. He sees Bach lying on a tombstone.
Johann Sebastian.
Oh?
Johann Sebastian, mighty Bach. Oh, Bach, Bach.
Oh, the hell with it.
Says Cherry Owen, who was resting on the tombstone on his way home. Mr. Mogg Edwards and Miss Mavanu Price, happily apart from one another at the top and the sea end of the town, write their every night letters of love and desire. In the warm, white book of Llaregib, you will find the little maps of the islands of their contentment.
Oh, my Mog, I am yours forever.
And she looks round with pleasure at her own neat, never-dull room, which Mr. Mogg Edwards will never enter.
Come to my arms, Mavanui.
And he hugs his lovely money to his own heart. And Mr. Waldo, drunk in the dusky wood, hugs his lovely Polly Garter under the eyes and rattling tongues of the neighbours and the birds. And he does not care. He smacks his live red lips. But it is not his name that Polly Garter whispers as she lies under the oak and loves him back. 6 feet deep that name sings in the cold earth.
As we tumble into bed of little Willie Wee, who's
The thin night darkens. A breeze from the creased water sighs the streets close under milk-waking wood. The wood, whose every tree-foot's cloven in the black glad sight of the hunters of lovers, that is a God-built garden to Mary Ann the sailors who knows there is heaven on earth, and the chosen people of his kind fire in Llaregib's land. That is the fair day farm hands, wantoning, ignorant chapel of bridesbeds, and to the Reverend Eli Jenkins, a green-leaved sermon on the innocence of men. Suddenly, wind-shaken wood springs awake for the second dark time this one spring day.